You awaken as the sun begins to rise. It's a typical country breakfast. Fried beets and sausage with garlic for a garnish.
Still you remain. It is a wonder you have managed to live so long.
There's only a certain amount of punishment your body can stand on any given day. Enough pain, enough gain for now. Try again tomorrow. You consider placing a few more weights in the baskets, but think better of it. You've done enough stepping for today. Well, that was fun. 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 After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better.
Still you remain. It is a wonder you have managed to live so long.
You grab a handful of rocks. You grab a handful of rocks. You grab a handful of rocks.
Welcome again to the gates of the Castle Borgov. I hope that you've been enjoying your visit to Mordavia. I am happy to know you are finding your way in Mordavia. I'm sure you will find this a most exciting place to visit. You have been very lucky so far in Mordavia. May you never meet something you cannot handle. I am very sorry, but I can only open this gate by the command of the Master. The Master seldom leaves the castle and has few guests. I do not know if anyone at the castle is named Katrina. My house is just inside the gates, and I seldom see anyone from the castle. Since the last boyar passed away many years ago, the castle has been uninhabited until recently. Now it is owned by the Master, who is also my employer. It is not a bad job. I am paid well and on time. Be careful in your travels. You never know what you may meet. Good luck, and may your feet move faster than the thing that chases you.
Hello there. Could you help me? This water is so cold and I need someone to help warm me. Why don't you come to my arms so that I can give you a real greeting? Thank you for the beautiful flowers. No one has been so nice to me since I can remember. I guess I shouldn't try to drown you now, since you've been so kind.
You tell the Rusalka about some of your previous adventures.
Gee, you've done a lot to get rid of monsters and things. You don't think I'm some kind of monster, do you? I mean, just because I'm undead and drown people, you don't think I'm bad? It is lonely being a Rusalka. Anytime anyone nice comes along, I pull him into the lake and drown him. Once he's drowned, he's not much company, I'm afraid. I've been a Rusalka for so long, I've forgotten. This lake is surrounded on 3 sides by steep mountains. To the southwest it merges with a swamp. The lake is not a safe place for you to swim. Many unpleasant things lurk in the deep water. The swamp is definitely a creepy place. Dead things lie under the water and try to drag the living underneath. Kinda sounds like my job description, doesn't it? Well, the things in the swamp are a whole lot nastier than I am, so be careful out there. I stay far away from them. They crawled into the lake from the swamp one day. Ugh, they remind me of worms and give me the creeps. I don't know much about the forest. I can't leave my lake, so I don't get around there much.
You ask what a nice girl like her is doing in a place like this.
I don't really know. I've been here for such a long time now. I mean, it's not like I can go anywhere. I can't leave the lake. It's my job to drown anyone who comes to the lake. That's what being a Rusalka is all about. I think I remember the town. I must have lived there once. Other than the fact it's somewhere to the northeast, I guess I can't tell you much about it. Please, come visit me again sometime. It's nice to have a friend to talk to.
You grab a handful of rocks. You grab a handful of rocks. You grab a handful of... You grab a handful of rocks. You grab a handful of rocks. You grab a handful of rocks.
Ah, you're just in time to witness a magnificent scientific experiment. I have managed to harness the very primal force of lightning at my beck and call. Now I shall use it to create life itself. Watch this. That was not quite the experimental result I expected. But never mind that. It is merely a momentary setback in the annals of science. I shall readjust the magnetic electrical stimulation system and try again another day.
You say hello to the scientist.
It is good to see you again. I trust the Antwerps gave you no trouble?
You tell Dr. Cranium about your first adventures in the Spielberg Valley. He seems vaguely interested in your tales of the Baron and his children, but his eyes positively light up when you mention the Antwerp.
Ah, so you are the Spielberg hero. I went there on an Antwerp gathering expedition a few months ago. The people there are still talking about your adventures.
You continue by telling Dr. Cranium of your encounters with the eccentric wizard Erasmus, the deadly kobold magic user, and the ogress Baba Yaga.
Turned her into a frog? Oh, such poppycock. There is a perfectly straightforward scientific explanation for all of those events. There is no such thing as magic.
You start to tell Dr. Cranium about yourself and your adventures, but he quickly interrupts.
But there is nothing so adventurous as pursuing a career in science. Did you know, for instance, that simple scientific principles can be applied to the creation of potions for healing and curing poison?
You thumb your nose, rub your belly, and so on.
I was afraid of that. As an outsider here, you have apparently not yet built up an immunity to the Moldavian dancing sickness. We used to have several people in town who exhibited those symptoms, but I have not seen any cases in quite some time. Let us hope the disease does not prove fatal in your case. Oh, I have been better. The failure of my MESS was a shocking experience, I can tell you. Understanding and harnessing the power of nature is just one aspect of science. By observing and performing experiments based on the observations, the scientist increases our understanding of the world around us. Here you are, one freshly brewed healing drink. Sip it if you get hurt, and its beneficial vitamins and other ingredients will help your body to recover quickly. Here you are, one freshly brewed universal poison antidote.
You ask Dr. Cranium if he can spare an empty flask for specimen collection.
Of course, of course. I am always delighted to assist scientific research of any kind, and I have plenty of flasks. You may have this one. Oh, this is a sad, ignorant land where everyone seems to think more of magic than of science. Still, it is a good place for a scientist to work. There are many fascinating monsters to study, and I can get all the dead bodies I need. Antwerps are a truly fascinating species. They reproduce by splitting into a number of tiny Antwerps, each with their own genetic code. They cannot split voluntarily, however. They only reproduce when cut or stabbed. My test Antwerps came from Spielberg Valley, where there was an Antwerp population explosion last spring. I have come to the conclusion that lightning is electrical in nature, which would put it in the realm of fire. Fortunately, there have been an increasing number of storms here lately, so I have been able to harness some of the lightning and store it for experimental use. I am convinced that the primal force of life is electrical in nature. Of course, it must also involve water for life, and pizza, without which life would be boring. My neighbor Nikolai is not actually as old as he now appears. He has been very unhappy since his wife's disappearance some 15 years ago. I can understand his disappointment. She never brought me back the berries I needed for an experiment.
Dr. Cranium has an orderly personality, so he likes to arrange things in tables. Better table that idea for now. A contraption looking nothing quite so much as a giant ray gun points towards the operating table. Now wait just a second. There's no such thing as a ray gun in Mordavia, is there? Dr. Cranium likes to stay ahead of his competitors. It doesn't budge.
I am truly sorry, but I cannot afford to make this a lending library at this time. You may look at my books here all you like, but you may not take them with you.
It's a beaker full of eyes, and they all seem to be looking at you. Glass globes of unknown intent hang in nets from the ceiling. It looks like a giant boiler. The chain attached to it looks like it activates some sort of release valve. You try a couple of quick pulls on the chain. You're not at all sure what you've started, but it's definitely enough to make you nervous. Even mad scientists' labs need fireplaces to keep warm in this climate.
Perhaps I should wait a day or two before resuming my Frankie experiment. It is very important that the right person stay in charge here.
It's you again. It's been a quiet day so far. Made it back, did you? So what can I do for you this time?
You tell Olga some of the things you did before coming here.
Oh my, you certainly have been to some outlandish places. So, must be nice for you to be back in real civilization again, huh? What would you like to know about? My sad departed husband. His name was Boris. Gone 3 years now. He was such a good man. Things haven't been too busy lately. I have plenty of time to get caught up with my knitting. This used to be such a nice place to live. Things can only get worse, as my Boris used to say. With the swamp cutting us off and keeping visitors away, business is poor. With so many monsters running around at night, won't surprise me if we wake up one morning and find we're all dead here.
You tell Olga that the gatekeeper's name is Boris Stovich and ask if they're related.
Aha! So that's where the so-and-so went. Huh? Tell him he's a rotten no-goodnik. I expect you plan on going adventuring some more. Well, I suppose the gravedigger has some room left at the cemetery? Yeah, good night, and don't let the bedbugs bite, as my husband used to say.
and two make six. A little bush is in a fix. If you save a plant from goo, I can help you with a clue.
After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better. After some rest, you feel better. A delicately crafted bonsai bush looks totally out of place in a pool of dark, unhealthy-looking goo. Using a grapnel to dislodge stones is tricky business. You'll need to keep practicing. Nothing. You slowly fill your flask with the greasy, grimy goo. You grab a handful of rocks. You grab a handful of rocks. It doesn't budge. You grab a handful of rocks. You grab a handful of rocks. You deftly slip over the gate and into town. Well, that was fun. Well, that was fun. Well, that was fun. Well, that was fun.